Oh, nice. Oh, hey, you made the thumbnail. Look at that. I made that render so long ago now. Yeah, I've learned a few things since then. Hey everybody! I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for having me. Sonic Ops is kind of on the down low right now while I deal with some IRL stuff. I've actually been focusing more on shorter videos. Yeah, you might have seen I've made a couple of shorter vids. I made a Bowser Jr. and Sage one that was really good.
Nice.
I like that one. And I've also made a couple of Surge and Kit videos, mostly Surge, because, you know, she wouldn't let Kit get the spotlight.
Yeah, she needs more spotlight, especially in games. Hopefully someday she'll actually make her actual official debut in a game, along with Kid and some of the other characters.
I can't believe they're sitting on a character that good and they're not doing anything with her in the games.
Well, with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, with the big roster that we got coming, who knows, they might actually finally make their official debut.
Oh, that'd be so funny. I want to see who's doing the voice, because at this point, if it's not Fel Sunflower doing the voice of Surge, I'm gonna riot.
Agreed. Yeah, like with the returning characters of like the Babylon Rogues, who knows who's gonna be voicing them, especially Jet. I know a lot of people, including myself. I know a lot of people, including myself, are hoping that they bring back Jason Griffith, since he was the original voice actor for him.
Right? Like, I'm thinking, how funny would it be if he was the voice for Jet again? Because his voice was probably the best Jet ever had. Who did his voice in Freerider? Because I know it wasn't him anymore, was it? It was the new cast at that point.
How do you know they changed it up there now?
Yeah, nobody thinks about that game, but like the voice cast did get changed over between the 4Kids ones and the new ones we have now. But I don't remember who did Jet's voice.
Like, speaking of the animations, aside from Sonic Op and like the videos, the animations with Insert a Kid, you got any other future ones that you plan on doing?
I'm actually looking for new ones right now. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. If I want to reanimate something that already exists, or if I want to do something more original.
Maybe another one that has vanilla in it. Maybe your character.
I've made a promise to myself that I won't be that in self-indulgence with my videos.
Fair.
I normally save that for like still images and renders that I post on my BlueSky.
True. That makes sense. Remember, folks, if you guys have any questions for System here, you can ask him some questions as well.
Yeah, go ahead, ask anything. Well, nothing personal, obviously.
Yeah, nothing personal.
Yeah, in terms of future videos, I haven't got anything particularly planned right now, except trying to work more on ops when I get the time.
Alright, yeah, since that's on the download right now. You got other video ideas you can do.
I was thinking about doing a Doomslayer with Isabel thing, but I don't know if people still care about that anymore.
You should, it'd be funny. Alright, ooh, we got our first question. I don't know, yeah, the question is relevant. Yeah, it's weird Tails. I don't know about that one. Unless that's in towards Sonic Ops, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where Tails lives.
Alright. Anyways, from the other question from Jared, they asked to Jared, since Sonic Ops has NSFW characters that were previously voiced by people who are not returning to voice those characters due to IRL reasons, would there be any new voices?
I've got most of the voices I need for the next episode already. So what I think is going to end up happening is the next episode will have those people's voices in it. Like, for example, Cashlyn Snow. I know she's retiring from Fanworks. So this will be the last time you hear. Yeah, so this will be the last time you hear her as Sally, I think. But going forward, yeah, I am going to have to find new people to voice all those characters. I will look into doing that after the episode is finished and put up onto YouTube, though. No sense trying to deal with that now, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I can think of a few people who can do a really good Sally. And we'll talk about that after the next stream.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Alright, from Vetera, they ask, what's your opinion on Vanilla the Rabbit?
My opinion is that she's a very cute, very well-designed character. I like how kind and motherly she is to her daughter Cream. And I really like how every single character in the franchise seems to be terrified of her, which is really, really funny to me.
Well, yeah, because, like, you mess with your daughter, you're dead. Rough and tumble, learned that the hard way.
Right? Like, she took those two down with just the power of her own aura. Like, imagine if she actually tried to fight them.
Like, literally, they made Cream cry, of all people.
Yeah, you want to know why Cream is such a badass? I bet you it's because she gets it from her mother.
Indeed.
Hey, I see Zach in the chat. Hi, Zach.
Hey, Dick. And speaking of Vanilla, I hope we actually get to play as her in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. She's never been playable once in the end games.
Right? That's such a shame. Then again, I guess it's hard to run in a dress like that.
True, but since this is a racing game, anything's possible.
Oh yeah, I can just imagine her having a proper, like, totally regal looking vehicle. You know, like the kind of thing you'd expect the Queen of England to drive.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Yeah, Doc being crazy. Alright, let's see. Here's another question from Jared. Yeah, what's your opinion on Sonic Polaris? The sort of season 3 movie idea came to life and finally finishing the 10 a.m. story that Ben Hurst wanted to tell.
I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
I think I've only seen bits of it and haven't fully looked at it. I know a few of my VA friends are a part of it.
Because I know Team Season 3 is a thing, and I've looked into that a little bit, and that seems really cool, but I don't know about Sonic Polaris. I've never heard of that, sorry.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those episodes, like their own version of Season 3. Something we've been needing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wish them the best of luck. You know, I hope Sonic Polaris does well, obviously. Apparently your mic is a bit quiet, Chris.
Alright guys, my voice is still here. I can still hear me. Hang on.
Also, who's the cool dog here? You mean the blue dog?
I don't think she ever watched the first episode that featured you in it.
That was a long time ago now, what, 2 years?
Yep. I think it was
What a
during
while.
season 1 or 2, I forget.
It was definitely during Season 1, because it was in the Season 1 playlist when I linked it to BlueSky earlier, which reminds me, I should be linking this to BlueSky.
Alright, let's see. From Vertera, they ask, what's your opinion on Sonic Dream Team if you played it?
Is that really weird game where you like go into like
The Dream World?
the skyscraper? Oh no, that's the mobile game, isn't it? The one on Apple and stuff.
Yeah, I believe that one was actually like an actual canon story game that you actually got to play through. It also featured Shadow in it.
Yeah, I want to play that. Is that on PC yet?
No, but it is on mobile. You should still be able to play it.
I mean, if my iPad had it, I'd give it a go. But I think you need a subscription service to play that stuff.
I'm able to play it, and I have an iPad. Alright, let's see. And Zach said it should be powered to PC. I don't know, I haven't checked to try that yet.
It's Beam now, see if it's on there.
Oh wait, imported. But yeah, try checking. I'll check it out myself later.
No, it's not on Steam. Well, if it ever comes to Steam, I'll give it a go. Or hell, PS5. I've got PS5 as well.
Actually, that would be a good idea for a video for you. Yeah, I'd like it to try to animate. And for Jared, yeah, and speaking of dreams and stuff and all, and that, have you ever heard of Nights into Dreams?
Oh yeah, I actually learned about Nights into Dreams through Sonic Adventure 1, back when that first came out on the Dreamcast.
That'd be a good idea for the animation for you. Like have Sonic and Knights have a little adventure.
I'd have to look into the characters and see what they're like, because I don't know anything about them except that they keep appearing as guests in Sonic games.
Yep, I think the last time they ever made an appearance, who knows? I hope they actually do make another appearance in the new Sonic Racing game. It was like Sonic Racing, I think Transformed. I forget.
Oh yeah, I think he was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or she. What is Knights? I don't know.
I think they don't have a gender. Some people see them as a girl, some see them as a boy. Either one. Leave it to their imagination on that one.
Just gotta use your dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Alright.
Well, that's a good idea. Jaden Severe says, be a Moby and Gordon Ramsay. I could animate my OC as Gordon Ramsay. That'd be funny.
Your voice almost sounds like him, actually, when you think about it.
Hey!
Hey, you're not wrong.
I think Gordon Ramsay would be insulted if you said he sounded like a Scouser. He's proper posh. He doesn't know. He doesn't like Scouts or something.
Alright, here's a question from Avatar again. Yes, have you heard of the new Nintendo Switch 2 in Mario Kart World?
Yeah, I can't wait to buy them in 10 years when the price finally goes down.
It's still crazy how you can have to pay $80 for that game.
Yeah, no video game is worth that much.
No, they are not. Especially in the beginning and when it's getting released. Like, really, Nintendo, do you really need to make it that expensive?
Yeah, don't you have your own theme park in Nintendo? Can't you lower the price a little bit?
Alright.
But no, to be serious, I'm not that big into racing games. I don't have anyone to play them with. When I was a kid, I used to love them because I had a lot of friends to play games with back then. But now as an adult, people don't come to visit very often. So my home is mostly just me, and I playing online. Like, I'm just gonna admit this, I'm not very good. So people online tend to be way better than me, and I tend to lose a lot, which just ruins the experience.
Some people get too competitive when it comes to that, and just people race.
Like, remember Mario Kart on the Wii?
Alright, let's see. From AG, they asked, just to get to know you, System, since I'm sorry, I just found out about you right now. Where are you from?
I'm from the UK. I'm from a city called Liverpool, which is where the Beatles originally came from.
Cool.
Yeah. I mostly stay at home. I sometimes travel. Most people think because I'm from England that I'm automatically from London, which is not true at all.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Yeah.
That's Gordon watching that stream going, you donut. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd end up calling me that.
What are you? An idiot sandwich? An idiot sandwich.
Alright, from Jared Dance, what's your opinion on the live-action Sonic movies? Especially we've seen the third one.
Oh, I've seen the third one like 3 or 4 times now. I love that movie.
It's peak.
It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's great. I love it. Yeah, I know. I like them overall. I like the Sonic movies. I'm glad that they're going with a more grounded universe rather than just going all in on the video game stuff, which, in my opinion, kind of ruined things like Minecraft and the Mario movie,
Yeah.
where it just those movies just feel like they're dangling keys in front of a child and just being like, hey, look, this thing, this other thing, this, all these things, isn't it great? We have these, so it's automatically good. And I'm like, no, I like that what Sonic's doing, where they're like building up to like the big stuff. I much prefer that.
All right. Let's see. From data, they ask, what console do you think is the best and you enjoy playing?
Are we talking best of the current generation or best console ever made?
Let's go with both.
Yeah, sure. The console I think the best right now. I'm probably in the minority on this one, but I think the PS5 is probably the best. It doesn't have a whole lot of exclusives, and there's always going to be that joke that it looks like an internet router. But for me, it's been the most useful console of this generation because I can't go to Microsoft anymore. They've just made too many bad decisions over the years.
You're not wrong.
And like the Switch is good. It is a really good console. But there's just not a whole lot of I guess you could say replayability for a lot of the big games on that. Like, what was that new Mario game called? Mario Wonderful?
World.
No, the platformer one.
It
was on the Switch. The 2D Mario one. It had Daisy in it.
Mario Bros. Wonder?
Oh yeah. I had to dig my Switch out of like a pile of dust just to play that game for like 2 days, and then I beat it, and I never went back to it, and now it's gotten dusty again.
I haven't even beaten that game yet. I haven't even gotten to the next area yet. Well, technically I am in the next area, just haven't really gotten back to playing it yet.
Oh, you know why I couldn't remember the name of it? Because I don't think of that as a Mario game, I think of it as a Daisy game, because that's the only character I played as.
Makes sense.
Daisy's the best. Fight me.
Alright, let's see. Alright, okay, here's another one from Vatera. They ask, what's your opinion on Little Cream, the rabbit, and her chow friend Sheet?
Oh, I love Cream. She's the best. Ah, voice crack. Yeah, no, I like Cream. She's the best. Honestly, I love her overall design. I think the orange clothes go really well with the what would you call it, beige fur.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get like the little blue from the necktie thing, and just the blue from Cheese himself, and it all blends well into this really perfectly colored, really perfectly designed character, in my opinion. And then there's the fact that she's super fast, can fly, and she has a little homing missile that's a living weapon that never misses. So do not mess with Cream.
Hey, don't forget she also has chocolate as well, who's practically a living weapon as well.
Yeah, chocolate is the backup.
Honestly, Cream deserves more chances to be in games. I mean, she got to be playable in Sonic Dream Team.
Yeah, that was just like the thing that originally drew me to that character was, hey, Cream's playable in this, and I'm just like, yeah, now make her mother playable, cowards.
Honestly, she deserves a chance to be playable more. At least now she finally gets to be in a racing game, especially since it seemed unfair when it came to Team Sonic Racing or any of the other car racing games.
Right? Did you find out? Did you see that Cream is the third most played character in the demo?
Wait, she is?
Yeah, Sonic and Shadow were number 1 and 2, and then Cream was like the third most played character.
Dang. You got that
Great.
by Charmy, who was also a character that never got to be playable in the racing games.
Right?
It's good that both of them, along with SBO, gets a chance to be in a racing game since they were left out more than once.
Oh yeah.
My Cream was in the Riders games, but she was never in the racing game along with Charmy and SBO.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? What a shame.
It's even more crazy how they literally, like, when it came to Team Sonic Racing, You got to play as Amy Big, but not Cream. But you have the Chows and Omo Chow driving in there.
That's not as good. It's not as good.
Uh,
Oh yeah, Sage is playable in the new one as well, isn't she? Yeah.
yep, she gets to make her debut in a racing game.
And she took a hammer to Giganto and turned him into a little go-kart. That's great.
That's crazy. Honestly, it still makes you wonder what the other characters that supposedly supposed to be making their appearance in the game.
Well, you all know I'll buy the game day one if Vanilla's playable.
Well, that's if we have to, like, that's if they actually keep them as, like, DLC characters. Hopefully that's not the case.
Is the game coming on Switch?
Yeah, it is.
How funny would it be if Mario was DLC?
Actually, yeah.
He gets like a big sports car looking version of his go-kart.
When you think about it, I would not be surprised if both, like, Nintendo and Sega allowed to do, like, try to do one big crossover. Like, when it came to the Sonic and the Olympic game, and Sonic and Mario in the Olympic Games. Just have one
Right.
of the mascots literally being in their own, like, each respective game. Like Sonic making his little cameo appearance in Mario Kart World, and Mario making an appearance in Sonic Racing Cross World.
Yeah. They should do a Soul Calibur thing where each exclusive version of the game gets its own character.
Agreed. I would love that.
Do you remember how cool it was to find out Link was in Soul Calibur for the GameCube? That was
crazy.
amazing.
Even Darth Vader was added in there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Alright, let's see. Let's see. I know there was a few questions. Let's see. Oh, Vasera asked, what is your hardest level?
My hardest level in what?
Like any game that you played.
Does I Want to Be the Guy count?
What?
It's an old game from like 20 years ago. It was only on PC for download. Probably one of the hardest video games I've played in my life. Let's see, hardest level. You know what? The final boss of Freedom Planet 1 took me like an hour. And I think I might have bitten my controller while playing that.
Ouch. I will say the hardest level that had me raging, like really raging, would be Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed. 15 times.
Why does everyone say that? Eggman Land is not that hard, really?
It took me 15 times.
Ah, God. See, I don't know. Everyone always says this, but I thought Eggman Land was pretty easy.
It wasn't for me, considering it was the first time I even gotten to that level. If I didn't remember where the extra life was, I would have had to start all over and over. I was raging. I was raging badly.
I mean, I remember that one part where you turn into the werewolf and you have to go across a bunch of pipes. And I remember they give you...
Where do you think I got stuck at?
Well, I remember they gave you an extra life right before that because they knew it was going to make people rage and have a hard time.
Yeah, that's literally the area that I kept dying 15 times till I finally got through that level. And that's where I remembered where that extra life was at. 15 times. 15.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I got a bit of PTSD from that.
Oof.
Hopefully the next time I'm playing the PC ported one, hopefully I can get through that without raging too much. As if I don't rage.
I'd love to see that.
Anyways, I did see a few more. Okay, here we go. From Dak, they asked if vanilla were playable, would that make it an automatic 10 out of 10 Sonic game?
Nope. That would make it a 100 out of 10 game.
No cards coming from you.
You all know what I'm about.
Yes, I do. Alright, for your ideas, since you're in Europe, have you read any of the Fleetway Sonic, the comic? Yeah, comic?
I haven't read much. I didn't know they existed until after they were discontinued. Thing is, I didn't grow up with Sonic. I actually grew up with Mario. I wasn't that big of a Sonic fan until about the early 2000s when SA1 and SA2 came out for the GameCube. I don't know when they got discontinued. I do know one thing. I am going to be referencing it in Ops eventually. No spoilers, but that final fight is going to be going to have a few things in it.
Ooh, I'll definitely be looking forward to that. I'd rather wait to see it than get any spoilers for it. They just ruined the whole thing.
I did not ruin the whole thing.
Alright, let's see. Alright, okay, from EG to ask, if you react, would you react if they even threw in the option to play as me again, or they bring back the Forces thing of making your own character in Cross Worlds?
I think they should do both. I think the Switch version should let you have a me character be playable, and I think every version should let you make your own character using that character creation thing.
Well, considering that we do, like, if you've seen the trailer, you saw all the, like, the avatars that you normally can custom create and whatnot. I feel like that's a hint at possibly being able to play as one, create your own one.
I know, I'm hoping for that too, because you can just see them there. Like, all the background characters from Forces showed back up, exactly. And that's just like, yo.
Ooh, there's one character, actually two characters I hope they actually allow them to bring into the game, because it'd be fun to be, for them to be playable again. Barry the Coco and Gadget the Wolf.
Ah, that'd be perfect.
The fact that we do see avatars in the background, who knows? Those two could make an appearance.
Fingers crossed.
Like, literally, Barry went from being a one-time character to, I think, an actual canon character, because you see him make an appearance a few times in the Sonic comics. Like the Winter Jam.
He is a very good design.
Yeah, like in the Winter Jam, we saw Gadget and Barry making the gingerbread house. And then you got Barry making an appearance during the Writer's Arc.
Yeah, I mean, just bring them back. I mean, Barry can just be like a background character, you know? He could just be there, like, standing around, no one would mind, but making him playable, that would be cool too.
He deserves to be more playable. He deserves to be in more games. Like, the fact that both him and Gadget actually have their own actual names, that means a lot, especially if it... Like, if they weren't, like, actual characters, they wouldn't have had their own actual names.
Right? I mean, I call Barry my little trash baby, because he's got that whole running gag of looking in every bin that he can find.
When I played through that was just confusing, how he literally just, like, to look through the trash can. Ooh,
I remember some fan art someone made once, where it was Barry saying... Tails asking Barry why he was looking in all the bins, and then Barry saying, just because something is in the trash doesn't mean it's worthless. And then it just cuts to him as a baby living in the trash. It's like, oh, it's so sad. But that'd be such a great backstory for him.
That would be. Like, because there's a lot, like, just like with Gadget, there's not a lot we know about Barry. Like, what he used to do before he became, like, before he started working on the train.
Yeah.
And just like with Gadget, we don't know much about him. All we know is that he, like, and that character, like, went through a rough time during the war in Sonic Forces, and they chose to stand up against the Eggman Empire.
He's gotta have something going on if he's that good with a grappling hook, right?
Exactly. Alright, so before I get to your data, here's an interesting question for those who don't know about Sonic Ops. AG asks, what is Sonic Ops?
Sonic Ops, right. So Sonic Ops is my Sonic the Hedgehog fan series. It takes place between Sonic Forces and Sonic Frontiers. because that's when I started it. So obviously things have changed since then. And, you know, thanks for giving Eggman his own daughter right after I gave him Eggette. Thanks for that, Sega. Awesome.
Actually, would you add Sage into that, or are you still gonna keep just Eggette?
Well, I can't put her in now. Eggette's there.
Man, it is.
But yeah, so it takes place between Forces and Frontiers, and it's basically a retelling of the game Sonic Chronicles. For those who haven't played that game, it's about a bunch of the echidnas from 4,000 years ago having survived in an alternate universe. And in my series, they're doing some interdimensional crazy science stuff, which has brought Sally Acorn from the old SatAM cartoon into the video game universe. And she's helping the heroes deal with this soon-to-be echidna invasion. We're 5 episodes in. We've got 2 side episodes too. I'm working on episode 6 right now, but it's a bit on the back burner because of IRL stuff.
Okay. Alright, let's see. Now from Zeta, they ask which IDW characters do you want to see in the next mainline game as a playable character? Aside from Vanilla, since we already talked about that.
Well, she's not an IDW, is she?
No, she is an IDW.
Yeah, she is in, but she's not an IDW character. She's like a game character. But Tangle and Whisper.
Yes.
Just right out there. They both have the perfect movesets to be turned into video game characters. And they're both so well intertwined with each other that I feel like they could work really well as a sort of, I guess, Sonic and Tails type thing, where you could play as Whisper and Tangle could support you, or you could play as Tangle and Whisper could support you. I feel like they could work really well as playable games characters.
Considering that Sonic did name drop Tangle's hometown in Sonic Frontiers, it kind of makes her, well, actually it does make her canon, along with 6. She's also canon as well in the mainline timeline.
I'll believe that when I see her, because I don't know what they're doing with Styx. They're treating her like there's something wrong with her.
Like, outside of Sonic Boom, she did make a little appearance in one of the older Sonic and the Olympic Games. And she was just like Tangle's hometown, and 6 was also mentioned in Sonic Frontiers as well.
Yeah.
So technically she is canon.
Yeah, technically, but again, I'm not going to get my hopes up for any of these characters getting name dropped until they actually physically make an appearance.
Even though she did technically did make an appearance, and like I said, she did make an appearance in the Sonic Mario and Olympic Games.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? Yeah. Why did Styx appear there and not in any of the main games? What was Sega's plan for that character?
I feel like it was foreshadowing.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Here's another question from Zach. Yeah, how would you make Vanilla play if she had her own game?
I imagine it would be like Princess Peach's moveset from the Smash Brothers games. You know, using her ears to slow her descent, and being able to attack with different like kitchen appliances and stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
And maybe she'd have like some kind of special move where she just summons like an army of Chow, or she just turns on the aura from the IDW comics and just terrifies the enemies into submission.
Honestly, I'd like her to have all of that. Again, like, who knows what kind of ability she has. Like, somehow Cream learns how to fly. Who knows? Vanilla could have had that ability before, considering their ears are also long as well.
Yeah. That could work for her.
Alright, let's see. From Jared, they ask, besides the Sonic franchise and Call of Duty franchise, what other franchises are you into?
Well, I've gotten back into Doom recently. That's been fun. I like my old Doom games.
You planning to get a new one?
Eventually, when it's cheap.
Fair enough. I like the weapon arsenal you get in that new one.
I haven't seen it yet. I don't want to know.
Okay.
I haven't looked into it at all.
I was about to suggest, talk about from the trailer.
Yeah, I've already had the giant robot spoiled for me, so I don't want to know anything else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else then.
Thank you. But yeah, I've been getting into DC as well, trying to get more into comic books and superheroes. Um, I play a lot of D&D recently. That's been fun. But yeah, that's about all the big ones.
All right. Let's see. From Vatera, they asked on about Gadget. What's your opinion on Gadget, the wolf from Sonic Forces?
Well, I love his design. You know, we need more people with glasses getting represented in games.
Axe.
I love his grappling hook ability. I wish if they bring him back, they need to incorporate that somehow because that's what makes him special to me. Is him having that amazing grappling hook. Like just the noise it makes is like one of the best. The only thing I'd have to say is I kind of wish he would talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would have been cool if he did have his own voice. You only hear like the effort sounds he makes when you play as him.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just something about him not speaking. Just kind of. I guess they want you to project yourself onto him, but when he's standing around in the cutscenes and everyone else is talking except him and Classic Sonic, it just looks weird.
I feel like it's probably from the trauma, like having to lose. Because who knows? During even during one of the first cutscenes, you see him and you see him being afraid, seeing all his friends get taken out. Like the fear, and the fear from all of that made just made him a mute for during the entire game itself.
Yeah, I always interpreted his muteness as him just being starstruck around all these actual characters.
That too, considering you are teaming up, he's teaming up with the heroes who save the world more than once, especially Sonic himself.
Like, I know I wouldn't be able to talk much if Superman saved my life and asked me to be his teammate.
You'd be right on it real quick.
But yeah, no, I love his design, I love his abilities, and I just wish he spoke, that's all.
Nice. Ooh, yeah, Jared asked an interesting question, especially whenever you finish off the first season of Sonic Ops. Yeah, if you're planning on are you planning on doing a second season? Would it, if you were to be, let me rephrase that. If you're planning on doing a second season, would there be a time skip that takes place after Frontiers? Since the first season takes place between Forces and Frontiers.
No season 2. It's taken me half a decade just to get through to episode 6. So, probably not going to be doing a season 2. I did have an idea for a sequel series about Shade. But depending on how hard it is to make the rest of episodes for Ops will determine whether or not that gets made at all. Because this has been a very time-consuming undertaking and it's taken a lot of my personal life. I've had to make a lot of social sacrifices just to say, hey, sorry I can't come and hang out, everybody. I've got to sit at my computer for 12 hours and animate Sonic the Hedgehog characters. So yeah, I don't know. Depending on how things go for the next few episodes will determine if I make anything else afterwards.
Completely understandable.
Yeah. I started this when I was 28, 29, and now I'm 34.
We were both practically the same age. I'm 34.
It just catches up. It sneaks up on you, this whole aging thing.
Even I'm 34, I still don't look it. I'm still looking like I'm in my teens or my 20s.
You're lucky.
Dude, I wish I can look like my actual age and actually sound it. Anyways.
Anyway.
Alright, let's see. From Sega Sonic, they asked, System, do you ever use the Wispin in the game? Which one? And which one is your favorite one?
If I ever got to use a Wispin in real life, I'd probably want to use the one that makes little purple copies of you. Which one was that? Was that the Void one?
I think it was the Void one, but I don't remember having that ability.
Yeah, one of them makes little purple, cube men that follow you around and do all the same movements you do.
Yeah, that's
and I thought it'd be really funny.
Yeah, that is Void.
Yeah.
It does create those little cubes behind you.
Yeah. I thought it'd be really funny to have one of those and just shoot the little cube people at things to blow them up and just be like, it wasn't me, it was the cube person.
Honestly, if I were to have a weapon, I'd probably use the lightning one. Considering that you can use it as a way to, like, grab things. Make things a little more easier, as long as you don't fry them.
Yeah, that'd be cool too, but I don't have the upper body strength to lift myself like that. I would just fall to the ground.
You'd be hurting in places you don't want to be hurting. Am I wrong?
I pulled a muscle I didn't even know I had.
Alright. Honestly, and speaking of like the first season, like, honestly, you like with what you have already. Like, I know it might be spoiler territory, but like, I'm curious. Like, who else do you plan to like actually introduce into Sonic Ops?
Let me think, because I don't want to spoil too much. Well, episode 6 has a character coming in that I'm looking forward to seeing people react to. Episode 5 had Big the Cat. He's going to be in episode 6 a lot, voiced by me. Where's my friend Froggy? As for the future, I don't want to spoil any characters I will bring in, but I can tell you about some characters that were going to show up and are no longer going to, if you want me to.
Sure.
Okay, and this is going to be upsetting for some Sonic Underground fans, but Sonia and Manic were going to show up in episode 6 and have now been cut.
Aww.
Yeah. I had the whole scene written out, everything. It was going to be a portal shows up on the racetrack in episode 6, and Sonia and Manic's voices can be heard, and then they get into a conversation with Game Sonic, and they keep making jokes about, hey, you're not our brother, you don't sound anything like our brother. And he's like, well, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, you know what, I bet it's Robotnik, I bet it's just a fake, let's just blow this portal up, and then like Manic's going to use his drums, and then you're going to hear Sonya scream, and then the portal's going to destabilize and disappear. And we had to cut the whole thing out. I really missed that scene, actually. I wish it was still in episode 6, but for timing purposes, it had to be taken out.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only one I can really talk about.
Ooh, and Zach asks, which would you have as a pet? Flickies, Chow, or Coco?
Okay, so Flickies sound like the most realistic option, but I had a friend who had a bird as a pet, and it would never shut up. It would just constant. I had a friend as a kid who had a little pet parrot, and it would never stop squawking, like all day and all night. Anytime I was over there, it was just making tons of noise. So I probably wouldn't have a Flicky. Coco looks like a decent idea until you realize it's made out of stone and is like 2 feet tall, so I probably wouldn't be able to lift it.
Yeah, I don't know how heavy those things are.
But a Chow seems like the most high maintenance one, because it's basically a baby made out of jelly. So I guess I'd go with the Coco and just try to strap some skateboards to its feet so I can move it around easily.
Honestly, I'd probably get a Chow myself.
I don't trust myself with a Chow. Oh yeah, they're cute as buttons, but I don't trust myself to take good care of one. I feel like it would probably starve to death under my care.
Wait. Then plus if you literally had an actual pet with you and it tried to, take on the characteristics of that animal, you'd be having a hard time trying to deal with both of them.
Oh yeah, if it took after my old dog and I just have 2 little dogs walking around, except one's made out of jello.
That'd be crazy.
Plus, there's always the problem of a Chow getting the 7 Chaos Emeralds and turning into a giant water Godzilla.
Oh god.
Don't want that.
You'd be flooding not only your house, but you'd be flooding, everywhere, everyone. Alright, let's see. All right. From Jared to ask, what's your favorite indie game franchise?
Hmm. I guess it's a tie between Cuphead and Freedom Planet. Cuphead, I just love the art style for Cuphead. I love the cartoon they made on it. That was a good show. Freedom Planet is just so much fun though. Like once you learn how the levels go and how to get a good flow going for them, you feel unstoppable playing that game.
Hmm. Ooh, Jared asks, what's your opinion on the Godzilla franchise?
We don't get a lot of Godzilla over in the UK, funnily enough. All those, the old ones from like the 70s and stuff, they don't really get shown over here. I have tried to watch them. A lot of the DVDs, though, they're Region 1 DVDs, so I can't really watch them on a Region 2 machine. Unfortunately, I'm a lot more familiar with Godzilla with those new movies that have been coming out recently. With King Kong and stuff in them.
Yeah.
Which I've heard a lot of Godzilla purists can't stand those movies, so I don't know if that's like cool to say or not. I mean, I enjoy them.
It's your opinion. Everyone's had the right to their opinion on it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I do like those movies, and I have seen the original Godzilla from like the 60s, and I thought that was good for the time.
Yeah, I remember when I used to watch that when I was a kid.
Godzilla Zero. Is it Zero? Is it -1? What's it called?
I think it was -1. That one, I never
Yeah,
really understood the title of that.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called that. But yeah, I do like that one. I managed to watch that one once, not too long ago. -1, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Godzilla -1. I do like that one. The way they handle Godzilla in that is a bit confusing at times, but ultimately I think I do prefer when Godzilla is treated like a giant monster that just wants to destroy stuff.
Godzilla. Which design did you like the most? Which one was your top favorite out of all of the designs he's gone through?
Shin Godzilla.
The one that is creepy as hell.
Yeah, like I like that movie. I've seen that one as well. God, he's just terrifying in that movie.
Right, especially since he can literally dislocate his jaw just to shoot out the flame, the blast itself.
God, yeah, that shot where it's just the city, like the entire city on fire because of him, and it's just like silhouetted against the fire, and you can just see him alongside all the skyscrapers. God, it's so good.
Alright. Let's see. Alright, I did see one from... Ooh, Vatera asked, what's your opinion on the Pokemon franchise? Especially in regards to the new series that they have, Pokemon Horizon.
I haven't played a Pokemon game all the way through since Pokemon Yellow. I know I've heard that they're doing some weird time travel stuff with Pokemon now.
Yeah,
I don't really know
Legends,
much.
that would be Legends Arceus.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with Pokemon. I'm sorry. I've heard that Ash retired after like 30 years, so that's good for him.
25 years. Yep, he finally achieved his dream of being a Pokemon master. Yeah, becoming the strongest trainer of them all. Even though it took him 25 years just to do that.
I remember watching the cartoon as a kid and loving it. I stopped watching around the time Tracy showed up.
The League.
Yeah. I remember going back to it one time when they told me that Ash turned into a Pikachu, and I wanted to see what they did with that.
Yeah, that's during the Johto League, part of the series.
But apparently, yeah, he turned into a Pikachu at the end of one episode and then turned back to human at the start of the next episode. So it's like, why did you even bother doing that? You didn't give us one episode of him as a Pikachu. That would have been funny. But other than that, I don't have any opinions on Pokemon. Sorry, I'm too far away from it now.
You want to know my opinion on that? And I agree with Dak on this. 30 years,
Go
yet
ahead.
he was still a kid. Like, literally, the only time they ever made him look like he was, like, older was during the X and Y series. That was the only one that made him look like he was actually older than the age he's supposed to be.
Weird.
Yeah, if you look it up compared to some of the older designs, he looks like he's like in his teenage years, like maybe like 16 or 17. But they change it back and they revert him back, like with the newer animations, like back in like starting with Sun and Moon, making him look like he's a kid again. Even with like Journeys, they still did the exact same thing.
I guess they were afraid to make him older in case kids stopped watching it. But I mean, kids watch shows about adults all the time. I don't know why people are so afraid of that.
Exactly. Heck, during the newer movies, I would say from Pokemon I Choose You to in the final Pokemon movie that featured Ash in it.
They should do a time skip in this new show where they just show him as an adult.
Too bad that they don't plan on bringing him back.
That's a shame.
A lot of people speculate that they will like somehow bring him back, but no, like they Pokemon the Pokemon franchise themselves. They want to be able to actually showcase some of the newer characters that they have, like Liko and Roy.
Two characters I know nothing about and I've never heard of until you just said that.
Exactly. People are still familiarized with just Ash, but with this one, it just completely shows talks about like the adventure of these two characters.
It's a shame too, because I think in terms of Pokemon, like the main original characters, Ash and Red, they both got kind of screwed over by the creators. Like Red never seems to do anything except show up and lose nowadays,
right?
And Ash is just gone.
And Red never really made much appearances in the game. The only time he ever made a reappearance was during the Sun and Moon games, or in this case, Ultra Sun and Moon. Or you see an older version of himself along with Blue.
I mean, yeah, that does technically mean that the Pokemon games have treated Red better than the Pokemon anime has treated Ash.
Yep, and the only time we ever actually got to see Red was in Pokemon Origins, where you got to see his adventure.
Yeah, that was cool. I actually watched that, and just like the bit where I think it was a Squirtle that bit Charmander on the face.
I think it was.
I remember watching that and thinking, okay, yeah, let's make a Pokemon show like this. Can we get some blood in here too? I want to see this. I want to see animal fighting, but with superpowers. Come on, do it. And that was about as bad as that ever got, because I never went anywhere near the idea of Pokemon being violent ever again.
Anyway,
You okay?
I'm still here. I'm taking a few more questions before we do end it off. It's almost an hour.
Sure.
Okay. Ooh, I didn't see this one. Getting from Jared to Ed, but do you have a favorite anime?
I haven't watched anime in so long. I was really into One Piece for like a few years, but I stopped watching. God, when did I stop watching? It was right after they got to the Mermaid Island.
Fishman.
Yeah, it was right after they got past the Sabundi Archipelago.
Yep.
I've heard Luffy's like a god now.
He has the power of a god, yes. But we better
Yeah.
to check it out if we ever do get back to it.
I want to, I really do. I've heard it's on Crunchyroll, and I probably should just buy a subscription and watch it. But that's a lot of episodes to catch up on. That's going to be like, I'd have to take a week off work just to fit the rest of that in, and it probably wouldn't even be enough.
Yeah, we'd be really binge watching from getting back to like after the events of the Fishman Island, going all the way up to the Eggman Island, and the Egghead arc. But it'll be worth it because you'll see the peak, the debut of no wait, that'll be spoilers.
Well, I hope I can get back into it because I really do miss One Piece.
Alright, let's make this one the final one from Jared Diaz. What's your favorite show from the 90s?
favorite show from the 90s specifically. Maybe the old Spider-Man cartoon?
I can't beat the classics.
That theme song. Oh, that theme song. Loved it.
We should get a little more time. We'll make these the final two questions. Francesco,
Yeah, sure.
asks, what's your favorite Sonic game?
My favorite Sonic game? Probably Sonic Generations. Maybe Sonic Frontiers. I'd say they're both equally my favorites at this point.
Did you play Sonic X Shadow Generations?
Yeah, that's really good too. I remember I bought that actually. I had to go all the way to the city to try and buy that game, and every game store I went to was sold out on day one of release for that game.
Did you really blame them? Like you're getting to play like a game that not only has a remake of Generations, but you also got a game that actually features a whole new story for Shadow.
I know, it was great because I remember the last store I went to had one copy left,
Mm-hmm.
and on the back shelf there was a big pile of the new Call of Duty games that no one was buying. I remember thinking, wow, is Sonic the Hedgehog beating Call of Duty right now? This is amazing.
That's funny. Alright, final question from Sega Sonic. What's your favorite Lego movie toy and game?
I've only seen the first Lego movie, the one with Chris Pratt. As for my favorite, yeah, he was the voice of Emmett.
Well,
My favorite Lego toy. Well, he does the same voice for every character he ever plays, so it's not hard to tell it's him.
Oh, it's been years since I've watched the first and second movie.
Don't watch the second movie. Second movie's terrible.
Too late.
Oh. As for my favorite Lego toy, I'd have to say it's either going to be the Lego Death Egg robot or the Lego Tornado 2 because they're both amazing. And Lego game, probably Lego Star Wars, the complete collection.
Nice. Dang, but they're brought it and came in with. This actually does have me curious. Have you played Sonic Project 06?
No, I haven't gone near that. I have heard of it though. It does look really good from what I've seen.
They're
But
working
I,
on the final story for that.
if I'm going to play that, it's going to be when it's finished.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna enjoy it. Exactly like
Alright.
when it came to Project like Unleashed, or in this case, recompiled Unleashed. How they made that from
Alright.
mod to full-on game. Honestly,
I mean, at what point do you just... Sorry.
good.
I was going to say, at what point do you take a mod that extensive and just say, why don't I just make this its own game at this point?
Well, the people who worked on the recompiled Unleashed stuff, they gave us what we've all been wanting.
I look at it like Freedom Planet. Like, they were making a Sonic the Hedgehog fan game and then just decided, why don't I just make this an actual standalone video game instead? And it turned out really well for them, I think. I think more mods should do that. You know, the more extensive ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's Sonic Robo Blast 2? That could be its own game. That doesn't need to be Sonic related.
Who knows? With the modding community these days, they go so far as giving, like, they listen to the fans to give us what we want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. With that, that's all the time we have, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed getting to answer all these questions again, System.
Yeah, it's been great coming on. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Glad to have you back on for another episode.
Hell yeah.
And thank you guys for asking your questions here. Definitely will be looking forward to seeing the return of Sonic Off when you do have the chance to get back to it. As well as get the chance to see the 6th episode.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 6. It's going to be based on riders, so you're going to see a lot of hoverboard stuff.
Nice. Anyways, Yeah, do keep an eye out for like the next episode, which we featuring the creator of Toby Jones on May 14th. If I still if I'm not busy on that day, for that. So make sure you guys look forward to that, so you guys get to hear more about their indie project. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Take care. Thank you for coming.
Later, guys.
Bye.